Hello everyone, welcome to the Marketing not to attend, and I'll be one of your MCs this afternoon.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Iroha, and I'm going to be the other MC for today's assembly. Before we start, we will pay respect to land acknowledgement read by Ben LeBlanc. It's been here today. Alright, I'll get started. We acknowledge that this building sits on the traditional homeland of the Suquamish, Gilgamesh, and Coast Salish people. The land of these tribes was taken by colonizers using the Treaty Point of Elliott, which to this day has never been fully honored. We also recognize that 29 tribes throughout the Washington state. As we gather today, we commit to remembering the genocide of indigenous peoples in the United States and ask you to take a moment to reflect on the history of the land on which you stand. Thank you.
I'll be reading The Two Americas by Martin Luther King Jr. There are two Americas. One America is beautiful for situation. In this America, millions of people have the milk of prosperity and the honey of equality flowing before them. This America is the habitat of millions of people who have food and material necessities for their bodies, culture and education for their minds, freedom and human dignity for their spirits. In this America, millions of people experience every day the opportunity of having life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in all of their dimensions. And in this America, millions of young people grow up in the sunlight of opportunity. But tragically and unfortunately, there's another America. This other America has a daily ugliness about it that constantly transforms the brilliancy of hope into the fatigue of despair. In this America, millions of work-starved men walk in the streets in search of jobs that do not exist. In this America, millions of people find themselves living in rat-infested, vermin-filled slums. The American Negro finds himself living in a triple ghetto. A ghetto of race, a ghetto of poverty, and a ghetto of human misery. So what we are seeking to do in the civil rights movement is to deal with this problem. Every year, thousands finish high school reading at a 7th, 8th, and sometimes 9th grade level. Not because they are dumb, not because they don't have the native intelligence, but because the schools are so inadequate, so overcrowded, so devoid of quality, so segregated that the best of these minds can never come out. For about a decade, maybe 12 years, we've struggled all across the South in glorious struggles to get rid of legal overt segregation and the humiliation that surrounds the system of segregation. We've got to see that this still exists in American society, and until it is removed, there will be people walking in the streets of life, living their humble dwellings, feeling like they are nobody, feeling that they have no dignity, and feeling that they are not respected. The first thing that must be on the agenda of our nation is to get rid of racism.
Thank you, Rena. That was amazing. Look at the hand of applause. All right, you guys can go. Press your seats. You guys. Come on. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your speech, Rena, Other America. And thank you to all our radio protesters. These are some amazing signs to highlight real causes and issues that still affect us today. It's a great reminder that while we have come so far, there's a lot more that still needs to be done before we can be done with this cause.
Today, we honor an American hero, a man who pushed boundaries, challenged the status quo, and dedicated his life to achieving equality for people of all racial and socioeconomic backgrounds.
Over a roughly 13-year period, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. worked to help advance civil rights through peaceful protest and civil disobedience. He led marches for voting rights, desegregation, labor rights, and also campaigned against poverty and international conflict. Through it all, he maintained fidelity to the principles that all people, regardless of color, creed, or race, are equal members of the human family.
Please take a moment to look around this room. It is because of the selfless work of Dr. Martin Luther King and hundreds of others whose names are unknown or rarely spoken of that we can sit among peers who have different skin colors, ethnicities, gender identities, faith, politics, with the understanding that we all are just human beings doing the best we can.
Yes, thank you, Luna. This is a reminder that we owe so much to those who paved the way for life, and it's so easy to take for granted sometimes. So, alright. The word on the street is that there were a lot of MLK kids who volunteered over the MLK weekend. We would want to take the time to recognize them and all that they did. So if you volunteered over the weekend, please stand up. Come on, I like that you guys did. I like that you guys did. Thank you. Now, physical protests have had an important place in American society for as long as history has been around. And Dr. King set an impeccable example of how to use them efficiently and effectively. However, protests today come in many forms. For today's assembly, we will pay homage to Dr. King's fighting spirit by showcasing some of the ways that people around the world have used art as a form of protest.
Thank you, everyone. Please, if you're a protester, take a seat. Can everyone be quiet? Now, traditionally, the national anthem is played at events, gatherings, and we've been asked why we chose not to sing it at a BSU-hosted assembly. So we thought this would be a great time to explain. The Star Spangled Banner was originally written by Francis Scott Key in 1814 during a war against the British. And while the portion of the song that is sang at events is an encouraging one, other parts of the songs are hateful and glorifying the killing of African Americans. For this reason, we chose instead to use a song that is uplifting and was written about hope and resilience in celebrating freedom. Lift every voice and sing. Please welcome Jugmel Letterman to sing the Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the lifting sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chancing rod. Felt in the days when hopes unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you, Jazz Bud. That was amazing. Let's learn a little bit about music. Jazz music is a genre that originated in the African American community of New Orleans, Louisiana. It was formed in the 19th and 20th century with its roots in ragtime and blues. On the other hand, rhythm rap, which is the original form of tap dance, started during slavery, when enslaved people played traditional African percussion with their feet rather than their hands and drums.
Eventually, the style changed and became more like the modern form of tap during the jazz era of music. Tap dance and jazz work together, influencing each other's sincere techniques. Today, tap dance can be danced with any style of music, but it's partnered with rock or jazz. Please welcome our very own jazz band and Amaya Brazil.
I was amazing. Thank you to the band and Amaya Giselle for that amazing one-of-a-kind performance. Free art and graffiti have been long associated with political unrest. From its modern inception, the very art of producing a piece of free art could be seen as a form of protest of the challenge of gentrification, inequality, discrimination, and prejudice.
Next up, we have a video clip with examples of street art that makes statement. Please dim the lights.
You know, sometimes I think never truly understand you as they go. Can't change the world as we change ourselves. Die for the sicknesses if we don't seek the help. All eyes be my witness when I speak was felt. Full house on my hands, the cards I was dealt. 3 K's, 2 A's in America. I'm just a black space going up the nebula. And everything I do is say today is worthwhile. With insurance, fire, action, and your first child. I'll begin my first step. Sometimes I'm speaking, I feel like getting hard work. Like I'm just a resident inside this universe. I feel my ancestors and residents finding me. It's like they want me to keep my chance to change society. I did my do about it. Tell me where I start. My destiny about it when I took to find the heart. You took to find the super. Tell me what they do for you. Set when you down. When you touch this out, they keep it they live for. First step in the change is to take notes. Realize the real game that they try to show us. 300 plus years in the cold show. The 300 million dollars still got no focus. Sorry, never go down when I be here sober. Obama just was in the nap, I be some more closure. And Donald Trump is not a crew to take this country over. The space backs cause we know it's the real motors. And the man in the face for the free dollars. Niggas dead in the street and we the only known. They told me that our people made it so known. Still like the last day of our slave owners. And the man in the face for the free dollars. Niggas dead in the street and we the only known. Niggas told me that our people made it so known. Yeah, we can't take the world unless we take ourselves. Down from the sicknesses and we don't seek to help. All eyes be my witness when I speak with felt. Full house on my hands, the cause out was dealt. 3 K's, 2 A's in America. I'm just a black space born out the nebula. And every day I do is 6 days worthwhile. With the shorts like action.
Wow, that was a lot of art. Luna, you like it or you love it?
I loved it. Through poetry, people are able to share a piece of themselves with their audience, communication, the feelings and emotions of their people. The commitment of these writers have illuminated the shadows of Americans for generations. Please give it up for Asma Dover reading a poem titled I Too Am America. I too am America. I am the dark and water. They send me to the invitation when company comes. But alas, and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody dare say to me, eat invitation again. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. Thank you.
Thank you, Asna. That was an amazing poem. Next, I'll hand it over to Abigail Benassi, who will walk us through how theater is used as a form of protest.
All right, we're gonna have our wonderful ASB volunteers help to showcase our theater aspect of this performance. All right, so far we have seen the different forms of art, and I'm going to talk a little bit about theater and how it correlates to Black history and protest. So the expression of culture is a human habit dating back to the beginning. Showcasing your laughter, your pain, and your stories through different forms of art is way older than writing, but the impression of it is also about the same age. Performance of Black struggles can be dated back to slavery, where slaves could perform folk tales, improvisations, songs, and dances on the plantations about their daily life, the cruelty they suffered at the hands of their masters, and sometimes their struggles of freedom. Oftentimes, these performances were done in front of their masters for the sake of amusement, which was ironic as masters often oppressed the use of their languages, customs, dances, or anything dating back to their origins in Africa. Unsurprisingly, the stories they told were very similar to that of West African cultures. Oftentimes, they were not stories that they knew personally, but were handed down from their ancestors who came straight off the boat. After a while, we moved on to minstrel shows. We all know that minstrel shows are used to mock Black and African features, making fun of cultures, habits of eating, or any other aspects of daily life. But after African Americans started to produce these minstrel shows, it became not as fun for white people. But it did give Black people a platform where they could showcase their daily lives without the improvisations of oppression. It was also the first time that a Black African American couple was shown on Broadway in 1928 on the James Brown's King's Daughter. This performance was met with tremendous uproar as seeing a Black couple touching, hugging, or showing any form of personal relationships upset white audiences. But as we moved on to the Harlem Renaissance, these Broadway productions became more and more popular and more accepted. As the stories were no longer about cruelty, but more about love, laughter, comedy, horror, anything that was not related to slavery. To end it off, and during the civil rights, we came back to the topic of oppression, and Black people were no longer afraid to showcase just how cruel white people were to them. They were no longer afraid to show the stories that they had faced of oppression, police brutality, or any other topics that were seen taboo as white audiences did not want to be met with their own cruelty. And once again, thank you to our AC volunteers. All right, now we're going to move on to the most popular form of art that you have seen in your daily life, fashion. It is almost the oldest, but it is not, as wearing what you want and how you look will always reach people before your voice does. It is representative of what your beliefs are and what you struggle for. In the case of African Americans, the era always represented the fashion. What we believed was shown in our hairstyles, our clothes, and anything else we wore. Starting off with the respectability politics of the 50s and 60s, this era was all about showing your Sunday best. No longer wearing habits or anything that showed you were less than white people. It was all about showing that you were just as equal and just as beautiful, and you did not have to look any way less than them just because you did not have the same rights. And you have makeup. Nicholas is showcasing that today. Alright, now we're going to have Hallelujah showcasing the Black Panther Party era. This era is leather jackets, black pants, blue shorts, and anything bold and uniform. It was military style to show that it was not about the oppression anymore, and you could not keep us down. This era is where the slogan This era gave rise to the slogans of Black Power and Black is Beautiful. Thank you, Hallelujah. Alright, moving on to the natural hair movement of the 70s, we have Amaya showcasing natural hair. During this iconic time, the white combs and relaxers joined the side of the whites. It was the big afro, the big curls, the natural hair, and the braids. Relaxing your hair was seen as a sign of admitting that white people were better than you, and no longer hiding your black curls was appropriate. And next, we're going to have MLK showcasing our Back to the Roots era. back into touch into the past as we could and honor our ancestors. Lastly, we're going to have Julia and Yvonne representing the most prominent era of today, the statement C. We saw this everywhere during the Black Lives Matter movement. It was gold shirts straight to the point, not playing anymore. Just letting you know what was going on the faces and not trying to hide that we were looking for equal rights, no longer struggling, and we were not going to beat around the bush anymore. All right, thank you everyone. That was our fashion segment.
Thank you, MGL, and students for our fantastic theater program. Last but certainly not least, we have a special guest. Please welcome our speakers, Mama Terry and BSU alumni, Nasu Abraham.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Doing good? Alright, well, let me give you guys a little intro of myself. I think some staff right here that remember me, but I'm gonna have to sit down with you guys. I'm gonna be casual. I graduated in 2017 from Alex Harris. My name is Nasu Abraham, and I'm honored to be here with you guys today. So I just wanted to be here and really just tell my story. I was just right in your shoes about I think 5 years ago, and I wanted to reflect through my journey. I want you guys to get inspired. If you can take one thing away from my story, is what I would love to have you guys take away. So, if that sounds right with you guys, I'll start my journey. I'll give you guys some wisdom, and then after that, we can do a little Q&A, and we'll just ask anything you want about me, about the real world. So I'm like 5 years after high school, so it's all a different world. So I want to make sure that you guys are equipped with the right tools and give you guys a little key moments or lectures that I can definitely inspire y'all. Does that sound good with y'all? Yeah? Hey, I know you guys are hungry. I know it's like the end of the day. I just want you guys 10 minutes of me, listening to me. After that, we can definitely chat as well. So, with that being said, I am my ancestors' wildest dream. With that being said, I was born and raised in a country in East Africa called Eritrea. Anyone here from Eritrea, east side of Africa? Woo! Anyone here from a different country outside the U.S.? Speak up. Yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah. And that's the beautiful part of being American, right? As well as being a global advocate. So, to be honest, I didn't come to this speech, so I'll give you guys a quick runaround of how I started here in America. About when I was 8 years old, my dad came in one day home and he won a lottery visa, which back then is a big deal where if you don't win a lottery visa, you're able to immigrate to the United States. And ever since that, about 2008, he came to the United States, no English, didn't know anything about the world. The only thing I knew about the world of America was I literally watched YouTube videos back then or TV. So coming here as a 9-year-old, it was definitely a journey. And throughout my career, I did ESL. Anyone do ESL here? The English learning school? Anyone did that? Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, I went through the whole journey, learning English, learning the new cycle of knowing how to be an American. And through middle school and high school, that's where I really started my foundation. I was really involved around high school, being a BSU member. I was an HB student as well. I was doing varsity, as well as being the oldest child. I had an extra leg inside, so I used to be a McDonald's worker. Anyone here work at the fast food chain as a side hustle? Yeah, exactly. Get your money up. So, that was how my journey through there. And I really make the most out of high school, and that's where that led to being able to get into University of Washington. As the first student in my family to really make high school graduate, as well as being teed up. And throughout my education at University of Washington, I learned various skills, as well as do one today, right? I was able to lead and co-found a BSU style of my university. And then after that, I was able to really explore the world as well. I had the opportunity to really go through study abroad and get back to my community, which I did. And then about a year ago, I graduated from University of Washington. So I graduated business. And it's so surreal because it felt like 5 years ago I was just at Mount Terrace, getting the caps to graduate, and now I graduated college. And with that being said, after that, I was able to really get the opportunity to work in business, right? I'm at Amazon doing business and marketing, and able to really provide for my family. And so, with that, I'm here with you guys today. And I want to give you guys a little wisdom that taught me the power of how I'm here today. MLK has all power, right? He has the power of really just being himself. And so I want to provide this insight for y'all that you're always going to be yourself in terms of being empowered. Be unapologetic yourself. Here in high school, look at all the staff, as well as teachers. They're here really getting paid to support you. And you're never going to have a community like a high school that you'll have after. And so I really want you guys to be the self that you guys are today and tomorrow. I want you guys to really start those opportunities where you really become yourself in terms of trying things out. And that's the empowered you. And the second one is the power of manifestation. So the power of manifestation is what I did was we get an outlook of what you want to be in the next 5 years and 10 years, and that's what I did. For someone that really just grew up in East Africa and come to the United States, and now become work for corporate America, 12 years later, and now recently, I just got my mom a house. So, and I want you guys, thank you so much. And I can't wait here to tell you guys that I am not an artist, I'm not a rapper, I'm really nothing but this person that really just pursued his manifestation of becoming the greater himself. And I want you guys to also have this big dream to be able to achieve that. And if I could really do it, as someone that's put my head down and able to follow the passions and my manifestation is where I want to put my family myself, you can able to do it. And so that is really key for you guys to really know where you want to be in life. And then the third one is the power of being resourceful. So along my whole high school journey, I think a lot of staff members know I used to do everything that this high school provided me, right? From being HB to running MLK to pretty much doing anything I could really manifest and really be okay. Hope everybody's okay. Anyways, what I was going to share is, and so with that being the resourceful community that we have here, I really want you guys to leverage, like I mentioned earlier, staff members, and just be you here right here. There's so many resources here in terms of music and art, as well as being the best thing you can. And then the last one is the power of your voice. Here in this world, I've noticed that for high school, right, we become the young ones, the teenagers, trying to figure out our voice and who we want to be like, right? But one of the main things that MLK really spoke on, the power of himself, was really having the power of your voice, right? No matter what color you are, and no matter what race, no matter what gender, no matter if you're religious or you believe in, everybody here is human at the end of the day. You could be a manager, you could be a principal, you could be a teacher. Each of you have your own voice. So if you have your own value you want to speak to, don't ever let anyone or any human really take up on that. And to give you an example, at college, I go to University of Washington, at the business school, they never had a collective diversity room. And they were going to build this new building, right? And in college, everything was about money and how to support and build these buildings, right? And they were going to name the new building off someone that donated about $200K. And I didn't like that because there are so many other black men and ancestors that came to that school. So I spoke up to the dean of the University of Washington. I was like, why don't we have the name of that community center at UW be the name after someone that really helped the black students and people of color at UW? And for me, I'm just a person in college. They would tell somebody that's a need. I just did it, and they were giving that respect. And now, about 2 months ago, they opened up a community center in my new school under the name of Daddy Estrella, which is the leader of the first black professor at the university. And so, for me able to do that as a freshman in high school, and I really, I want you guys to be influenced in the way I can, in the voice that you have. So, like I said, no matter what anyone says, you have the power in you and be unapologetically you. And so, with that being said, I know that I'm not sure how much time we have left. You guys want to queue with 5 minutes left, and so I want to give up to the table right here. If anyone has any questions about what college like, what after high school is like. As well as just like what I'm doing now and where I want to go. So it could be open-ended. Raise your hand. I will really come up to you and you can really ask a question. So I'm just here to give you guys my time. Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah? Right on. Cool. So everyone can come down here if you have a question. You come down here and answer that question. You call the break. Hey, what's your name?
Yeah, all right. What was the biggest challenge you guys overcome throughout your growing up in high school? Like, how was doing high school, learning how to, your process of learning how to operate?
Right, that's a great question. Thanks so much for asking. You can sit there with me but I think what he asked was, how do I organize my time and energy to be a high school student, work at McDonald's, be the oldest child at an immigrant household that didn't speak English, help my mother get a job, right? Help my little brother get into middle school. How do I do all of that so able to graduate? I think the biggest thing is understanding who you are and able to be resourceful and what helped me alive was having faith. Not everybody have the same God or the same religion, right? One thing you do is the universal, right? The universal that we all grow up in life. And if you have faith in what you want to do in life and how you want to organize it, that's what helped me a lot. And in terms of organizing it, in terms of handling so many things, helped me a lot by just really taking the time to max out what really matters. I think in high school we have so many distractions, right? From now we have TikTok. We have who's the coolest kid in school. You got to dress this way. There's so many things that come your way, right? But if you really are the true self yourself, understand where you stand, be able to really clear out what really matters in life, right? And so I'm telling you guys right now, man, the community in Mountain Terrace, there's no one else like it. And if you have this dream, if you have something you want to try it now, do it now with the community, the teachers, the platform to make mistakes. That's what I did. And so that's my answer to you. Anyone else have a question? Yeah. What's your name? Yeah. Can you guys do a shout out? Can you guys do a shout out for this?
What's the biggest obstacle you face as a black man in America in this time?
That's a great question. To be honest, for me, I didn't know that I was a black man until I got to America. I thought I was African. But when you come to the United States, as an immigrant, they place you as a black male. They don't know where you come from. You're just black with the skin color. And so for me, I had to adapt to be American and African at the same time, but didn't understand where those lines met. And currently, right now, going into corporate America, right, which is one of the things that, as high school you look forward to or you want to get a job at. One of the biggest challenges is that you have to kind of act a certain way, right? Talk a certain way, or code switch, and able to dress a certain way, just to meet ends and have respect of your counterparts that are not black. And for me, to be honest, I'm just me. Once you gain that self-confidence of who you are, or what skin color, I was able to really just be me To be honest, right now, like, I could have came up with a suit, you know, people think about corporate, you come with a suit and tie, right? But I'm just here with a t-shirt and some shoes on, like, I'm just like another person like you are, and be me. So, that's who I am. Are we on time? Are we good? Okay, well, hey, thanks so much for being here. Thank you. If you guys, if anyone knows how to make a logo or a website, I'm gonna start my own personal brand. I'm gonna continue making TikToks to know my life is, so hit me up. But appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Master. We're gonna wrap up the last piece of the
Oh my God, I see you live.